Welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute, your source of internet marketing inspiration.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Minute. I am your host, John Henson, and this week I wanted to talk to you about just some questions that you should be asking your marketing company. This is generally for when you're starting a new relationship, and I know that attorneys and other business owners across all kinds of industries go from marketing company to marketing company for a variety of reasons, and whatever your reason is, it's fine. But if you've been in business long enough, you've probably done this a few times. You'll engage with the company. They'll schedule a consultation or a demo or some sort of presentation with you. They'll put a bunch of good graphics up in front of you. They'll show you some examples maybe. They'll tell you the services, and then they'll give you a proposal. A lot of times there are a lot of unanswered questions left on the table, and part of it is just stuff that you wouldn't normally think of until later down the road when you're potentially in this agreement that if you didn't like the answer to, that's going to cause some issues. You're going to end up unhappy with the marketing company, and in some cases, like, it's not the marketing company's fault. It's a lot of times they may just assume you already know the answer, or maybe you don't care about some of the things that you end up actually caring about later down the road. So, some of these questions, keep them in mind the next time. We're also going to have some free resources coming out on spotlightbranding.com that'll have even more questions that you should be asking your marketing company or your website designer before you actually start working with them. And so I'll give you a couple of examples today, but the first one would just be, how long before I start seeing results or an ROI on my investment? A lot of times I think that people are under the impression that marketing is like this, that Staples easy button that you just push it and then everything immediately happens. And that's not necessarily the case. A lot of times, whether there's a lot of back end work that needs to take place, or, just the strategy and the approach altogether, design work takes some time. Not everything is going to happen immediately. Maybe some marketing services will start immediately, but it could be several weeks, a few months before you actually start seeing consistent, tangible results coming from your marketing, and that's okay. Patience is really important when it comes to your marketing, and a lot of times, especially strategies that end up taking longer, actually do produce more consistent results. A lot of times these quick marketing strategies, you'll get a huge influx of leads really quickly, and then it will dry up and completely disappear for a while. And, if those leads are super high quality and you can spread them out over time, then maybe that works out for you. But a lot of times the slow and steady, the slow, the continuous influx of good referrals, good leads over time, will produce the best results for you. But regardless of what you're going for, make sure you understand when you should start seeing those results and hold the marketing company to that promise. All right. Another one is, what will my involvement be? All right. This is really important because, look, I understand, it's important to delegate the marketing work. Absolutely. That is something that we preach across this show, across Center Stage. We have blogs about it. We have videos about it on our website. Like, delegating and getting that marketing stuff off your plate is super important. To that end, what we mean by that is the execution part of the marketing. All right. So for example, you still want your marketing company to be engaging with you, and still, especially if they're writing content for you, you want to be able to have conversations with them so they can pick up on your voice, your tone, your style, just kind of the way that you word things. But you also want to make sure that you still have some fingerprint. And I know business owners love to have control. This is a great way to maintain some of that feeling of control, is just, keep your pulse on your marketing, especially the content that's being created for you. I think it's a huge red flag if a marketing company just says, you just go off and you sit over there and we'll handle everything. Because a lot of times lawyers and other business owners could end up getting misrepresented in their marketing because, this marketing company's out there just doing whatever they have to do to bring in a bunch of leads and put you on the front page of Google, whatever you're doing. And sometimes I've seen instances where, an attorney will get called out on something and be like, I didn't even know that was happening. And so, make sure that you have some involvement with it and see what the time commitment is going to be. For us specifically, we like to have quarterly phone calls with our clients. We like to make sure that they see the content that we produce for them and at least read it over to approve it, make sure that everything sounds good, make sure that the sources that we pulled from are aligned with what you believe and all of that. And so, it's not a huge time commitment, maybe an hour a month, just between approving content and having a quick phone call. That's it, and that 1 hour a month is a lot better than 2 hours a week trying to do all of it, if not more. So that's one of the things that, you should definitely keep in mind when you're talking with marketing companies. Another question is, how long does the average client work with you? That's not something any marketing company is just going to freely give out, because it's not really a question that people think about up front. But that'll give you a good idea of how effective marketing companies are. What's that churn rate, that turnover rate, the average, I guess it would depend on kind of what the contract length is, because, a lot of marketing companies will do a 12-month contract, but think about, if it's month to month, how many people stay, how long do people usually stay with you? How many months before they're out? If it's a contract length, do people just usually go somewhere else after the first contract, or do they kind of renew for one more, two more, whatever the case is? And so that'll give you some good insight into how well that company is doing, what kind of results they're getting. It's not going to give you the complete picture, because the marketing landscape is always changing. You always have to account for people with shiny new object syndrome, all that kind of stuff, where just, people get impatient and all of that. But that will be a good little indicator to how effective that company is. The last question I'll give you is, who will I be interacting with? Who's going to be my point of contact? All of that kind of stuff. And I've seen some companies, they'll throw like 20 different people at you, and that, to me personally, that's a little overwhelming. I don't know who I'm supposed to go to for a specific question. It's like, because especially because the way they had it, you had your overall account manager, but then you had your copywriter, and then you had your SEO expert, and then you had your PPC expert, and then you had your social media person. And it's like, who do I go to for a specific question? And so typically, but just figure out who you're going to be talking to, who your team is going to be, who you should expect to interact with on a regular basis. With us, obviously I can give you the most detailed example because I just know our process, but, we have a dedicated account manager who handles just the execution of the marketing. We also have a dedicated copywriter for our clients. And then otherwise, our salesperson will check in from time to time. Our operations director might check in from time to time. You may hear from finance from time to time, generally if, your card gets declined or something like that. But that would generally be, when you'd hear for that. But for the most part, the people that you're going to interact with the most are your account manager and your writer. And it's that simple. But like I said, I've seen, multiple 5, 10, 20 people like presented as like, hey, this is your team. This is who you're going to interact with. And it's like, that's a lot. And, some people are generally best kept behind the scenes, but, if that's what you prefer, go for it. There's certainly not, it's not going to be a negative impact to the overall marketing strategy. It's more about just what you prefer. So I hope those are some helpful questions for you, maybe something that you hadn't thought about before. But like I said, be on the lookout for some of these resources that we're going to be coming out with on our website. It'll be 10 questions to ask your marketing company. There'll be different questions than what I covered here, but also 5 questions to ask your web designer, and some other stuff that we're going to have coming out real soon that I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be some great resources for you out there. So as always, I hope that was helpful. Keep checking out Center Stage. The audience over there is growing. We're super excited about that. We've got a a lot of great guests coming up that I'm really excited about. A lot of great conversations that are going on over there. Continue to rate, review us here on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to us on YouTube, wherever you're consuming the show. We really do appreciate it. We're grateful for it. And that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for joining us. Please visit lawfirmmarketingminute.com for more information. We'll see you next time.